your face.
Like I said. Like I said. Like I said. Do you like my tail?
Like I said.
And we're back for yet another exciting episode of After Hours. And I am, it's not After Hours, it's
Not
Iron
After
Range.
Hours.
Jesus.
And I got my two. See, I need you guys to remind me what show we're
You do too many shows, Dave.
Yeah.
Too
I'm
many
not even,
shows.
and I can't even say I'm on Percocets for my foot. It's not even true, so I can't even say that. What do you got there, Lee? Lee's coming to America. Him and Eddie Murphy are coming back to America this weekend.
This is my parking papers to put in the windshield. This is my authorization visa approved by the United States government. This is my other thing, and this is here. I got to go down to the testing place today to have a COVID test at laboratory. If that comes up positive, Lee won't be coming to America.
Now, Lee, I know you're very, OCD and anal retention. Are you like a little stressed out about this whole traveling thing? Because you really haven't traveled that much lately,
No, see, I got my papers here. I got my passport right there. My suitcase is pretty much packed in. I start thinking, what have I forgotten? And even
Who packs
on the way to the airport,
so far in advance? I pack the an hour before I leave.
So do I.
I do it.
It's
I
awful.
do it days in advance. And I put everything.
Show
in
us
the
your
thing.
suitcase. I want to see how neat it is.
And then Dave, it's like when we get there, we'll worry about what we forgot.
Yes, that's right. I'll buy whatever I need.
I'll just buy it
here.
there.
There, look.
Look how neat that suitcase is. Oh my god.
Lee, don't forget finger cuffs, ankle cuffs, handcuffs, vibrating penis ring, cock ring, anal beads for the
I'll buy
threesome.
that there. I'll buy that there.
You gotta schedule a
There's
flight
plenty
back
of stores in Venice, Dave, that he can find that stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta schedule
Sunset.
a flight back east to Delaware before the flight back to Australia.
Hey, no, listen, mate. Listen, if I'm flying 13 hours to California, you can take the trip from Delaware to California.
I gotta haul my goods to you.
Yeah.
Is that way? Well, I'm coming the majority of the way.
You really are.
Are you
Coming
going
around-
directly?
Three-quarters around the planet.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
direct. Yeah, direct flight. Yeah, but it leaves it. Here's the funny thing. Tomorrow morning, Friday, 10 a.m., I leave, but I arrive Friday, 7 a.m. So I arrive in
back in
LA.
time.
That's
I arrive
weird.
in LA. I arrive there 3 hours before I leave.
Weird.
You
That's so at some point in the air, you cross the space-time continuum.
yes.
Yeah, where
realize
like it
that?
folds. Like
You
it
go into the
folds
you go into the fourth dimension somewhere in the air.
Yes. Yeah, where like that time thing folds on itself, and I
You
travel
become a vapor, and then you re-vaporize.
There's got to be a way to
Okay.
buy a lottery ticket and make good on that. I'm just not sure how it is. Where do you buy the ticket? In
But what-
Australia or you buy it in LA?
something.
But what about going home though? Going home, I leave on Wednesday, but I get home Friday. Thursday Thursday disappears.
Thursday's in the air.
Well, imagine if you had your birthday on Thursday. You have to wait a whole another fucking year before
That's
it comes around again.
Yeah, think about it. It drives me insane trying to think about how that would work.
Flight from wherever you're going, I think Sydney to LA is such a pleasant flight because you know what? When you go on a long flight like that, they feed you, they're nice to you, they got movies, you can watch whatever movie you want. It's like a vacation, Lee, for you.
Snacks. You just watch. I watch movies, and it's
great.
only 13 and a half hours, which is easy because the longest direct one I've done is Perth to London. That's 17 and a half hours non-stop. But, when I used to fly to Black Skull, they'd fly me the long way. So by the time I got there, it was 48 hours of travel until they flew me to Quickway, which took 10 hours off. But going to Quickway, you got to stop in Chile. And when you leave Chile to go to Brazil, you got to fly over to Andes. And let me tell you, the turbulence over the Andes is the worst fucking turbulence. I start thinking about that movie Alive, where the plane crashes in the Andes and they fucking eat each other. And I look out the window, right? I was near the wing one time. As the turbulence is going, I'm just watching the wing of the plane going. I'm thinking, how much fucking stress can this
They're
thing
supposed
take before
to,
it's...
yeah.
Yeah, but
it's
how
supposed
much?
to move.
A lot.
You get a paper clip for a couple of years and do this. It's gonna snap.
It's true, man. It's only material. At some point, it's going to break.
And isn't all the fuel in the wings too? Like it's all the
Yeah.
thing is flopping around with all the fuel in it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think they got it down to a science. I think they pretty much worked out the bugs at this point.
They might have.
But the thing is, I fly Qantas, Touchwood Qantas. They even had it in was it Rain Man, but they cut it out of the American version where Qantas has never had a crash. And people remind me that they go, yeah, but Lee, Qantas has never crashed. I said,
it wasn't Rain
there's
Man.
always going to be a first time. And I said, and I don't want to be known, because, you know, if there's ever a first time, that passenger list is going to be famous. I don't want to be famous for being on that passenger list. He was one of the first that went down on Qantas.
That's not the way you want to go down in history.
So let me ask you this question, because I always ask people this question. How many hours before the flight do you go to the airport, Lee?
The plane leaves at 10. I'll be there about 6.
Oh, my God. I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say 4 hours. I just knew it. I knew it. I knew it was going to be double what anyone else would do, yeah.
Which makes it worse because if it's delayed, then I'm there.
Yeah, you're there all day. Exactly.
But the thing is, I've got to go early because my friend Matthew, who's going to travel with me, he's getting his COVID test at the airport. So it takes 90 minutes to get your results there. So he has to get his early. So I'm leaving home about 4. Get there at 6. He'll get his COVID test. Hopefully mine. The thing is, though, if mine comes up positive from the lab, I can drive to the airport and get another one. It could be negative.
That's right. You know what the funny thing is, Dave? He's going to get there at 6 in the morning, which sounds pretty early, right? For most people. But Lee will have done it. He will have done his whole day already. He's already been probably up since 2 in the morning. He probably go to the gym. Yeah. He'll clean the house. He'll clean the litter boxes a few times. He'll cook a few meals for himself. He'll be ready to go to sleep anyway. You know.
Well, that's the sad thing though. Being at the airport that early and then being on that flight, I'm looking good now. When I get to America, I could be. They'll be like, Lee, what happened? I'll be like the fluid on the plane. I just flew up. The 10 weeks of transformation just went in 24 hours.
Out the window.
Dave, you've taken that flight from LA to Australia before?
Yeah, several times. Yeah, I've flown from New York to LA and then LA to Australia, which is even crazier because it's another 5-6 hours onto that. I love those long flights. I love them. I can't tell you. I take some Xanax. I watch movies. I eat. I fall asleep for 4 hours. I get up. I watch another movie. Eat another meal. I take another half of Xanax. I go back to sleep again. I get there. I'm so well rested when I get to Australia that it's.
What were you in Australia for? To be honest, what did you go there for?
I went there a couple times for the Australia Grand Prix, and then I went once.
To see me.
What? To see Lee? I did see Lee once. I went there.
Yeah. I'm going to take this on the plane, Dave.
You'll really be fucked up now. You got to take Xanax. You take that when you get to LA before you go to bed. You take that.
Are you done your round of perks, Dave?
Well, I don't feel good on those. No.
Wait, are you done taking them for the?
I only took them for 2 days. I just stopped them. They're like, "Oh, don't stop these.
You're not like everybody else who gets hooked every time they have an operation."
No. I you know what? I would probably take them a lot longer if they didn't constipate you. That's the worst part.
They back
if I was able to poop, I'd probably be popping them still right now. I'd be like, I'm still in a little bit of pain. You know?
But it doesn't take long. In a couple of days, you are not pooping.
Yeah. Anyone that takes perks and they need something, here's a great product.
Believe me, I was doing 3 servings that daily.
So. Hey, I'm a big believer in fiber.
Guess what? I went to see Top Gun last night. Maverick, great movie.
Oh, it's out.
See it. Yeah, well here it is.
Yeah,
I went to see it last night, the first showing of it, and the flight scenes. It's incredible. It's probably better than the first one almost. But here's the funny thing. When I take these with food, I don't get the GABA tingles. After the movie, I'm like, okay, it's a 20-minute drive home. I was past my bedtime. It was like 8:20 at night when the movie came out. I'm like, oh my God, I got to get in bed by 9. So before I left the movie theater, as soon as the credits come up, I took 3 of these.
Right.
10 minutes into driving home, the GABA tingles come on. And I'm like,
oh, you're driving yourself? What are you, crazy?
Yeah. Yeah, the GABA tingles.
You're not supposed to take that and drive, you lunatic.
Are you not? No.
So the tingles are from GABA in that product.
So I'm driving.
There's no niacin. Okay.
No. Your breathing goes a bit funny, and I'm like, I feel like I'm going to pass out. I'm trying to focus on the road, going, just get home, Lee. Just get home. I'm like, maybe I should pull over. Then I think if I pull over, someone might find me with the head on the steering wheel. But I made it home okay. But yeah, don't take them on an empty stomach while you're driving.
Don't take them before you're going to drive either, like a lunatic.
Dave, did you direct him on the timing of these supplements?
He doesn't listen to anyone.
You just takes them whenever he feels like
He
it.
figured he was going to time it perfectly, so when he got home, he can go right to sleep.
It doesn't work that way.
No.
Well, I forgot because normally when I take them at home, I got a bit of food in my stomach, so I haven't had those tingles for a while. But because I was at the movies and I couldn't eat, I just had like a Diet Coke. So when I took it, I was so empty that 10 minutes into the drive, I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh.
Now, if you had to rate the movie, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how good?
I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
That good?
Yeah,
I read
like,
that
even
yeah.
the whole the story's great to it, with the story with
Don't tell us.
Deuce's son in it. No, I won't tell, but he's in it, and Val Kilmer's in it. He's in it again. But then, it's the whole story's good. But even the action scenes of the jets now, because I know a year and a half ago Tom Cruise wasn't happy with it, so they went back and they reshot the
Everything.
whole jet set.
Everything.
Yeah, and like nothing's CGI. It's all the jets doing the stuff,
Yeah.
and the way they maneuver these planes and do everything. Like, it's very good. A little bit of comedy in there too, bits in here. But I'd say it, because sometimes a sequel can be really shit, or it doesn't live up to the expectation.
Yeah.
But I'd say this one, even like I said, every movie review I've seen, some of them even say Tom Cruise should get an Academy Award for it, because
Oh, really?
he's actually, and for his age too, they've got the beach scene where they're playing ball on the beach. He's in pretty good shape for someone in his 60s still.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. He doesn't look, when you watch him in the movie, you look at him, you're like, the cat looks the same as he did in the first one. He doesn't age.
Do you know the first movie came out, and I remember the reason why I remember is because that was my high school senior year. I was graduating in 1986. I remember seeing that movie. It was crazy, That was the first time they'd ever done flight scenes like that. But I heard the producers of the movie were going crazy when Cruise said, we're going to reshoot all the flight scenes. Because, number one, it cost a fortune.
Incredible.
Number two, it was a very, very long shoot. So,
and I watched the making of it too. I watched the making of it. They did all the actors in it. You know how I went up in that fighter jet and I was doing all the stuff.
Yeah.
Like the scene, it looks like they're flying the plane, but in the scenes where you see them, they're in a jet like I was in, where you sit behind the pilot. So it looks like they're actually flying. But they took them up in one of those jets I went up in, and they got the actors used to the G-forces, and that a few of them were throwing up and some of them passed out. But because the actors had to be in the jet and pull those G's in the maneuvers, that a lot of the actors were like, oh, fuck. So he actually made them all go up in planes and get used to the feeling of.
Well, Tom Cruise is definitely an adrenaline nutcase, because you remember, I remember that Mission Impossible where he was at the top of the Burj and he jumped fucking. That was him really doing the stunt. He almost killed himself.
Almost died.
And the one where he jumped over the building and broke his ankle and kept on doing the scene.
Yeah.
But then the last one, did you see the making of the last one where he's flying that helicopter through the canyon? That was really him flying the helicopter. He learned to fly it.
Oh, really?
He wanted to be. You've watched the making of it. There was like a chopper in front of him, and that with the cameras on it. But they said there's no way I could CGI it, so he actually learned to fly that helicopter.
Wow.
And he flew the helicopter through the canyon doing all those stunts in it.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, all his movies are pretty good like that, where the action comes into it. But there's something to his Scientology. When you look at Tom Cruise, John Travolta, Kevin Bacon, these fuckers still look young as they must be drinking the Satan's blood. Because the fuckers don't age. When you look at Kevin Bacon, even in some shows, you're like, it looks like he just come out of Footloose still. It doesn't get any older. But Tom Cruise in this, when you see him, because I'll show you a photo on the wall of where he's looking back at, the first movie. Yeah. And then it shows you his face. You're like, he looks exactly the same.
To me, he looks the same as he did in Risky Business.
Lee,
exactly.
I got news for you. Lee, you look exactly the same as you did when you were younger, too.
Satan worship.
You just have a lot more tattoos now, that's all.
No, but it's a really good movie. I recommend it when it comes out over there. Coming out over there. Must be coming out Memorial Weekend for the holidays, isn't it?
It probably is. I can only watch things at home, so I have to wait till either I get a bootleg version or it comes out on like iTunes and I can download it.
Oh, there's a couple of movie sites. There's one called moviejoy.to. If you go there, sometimes they put out the movies HD versions on the download.
Oh, really?
You can watch them.
All right, we'll have to take a look at it.
Not saying that anyone should do that, but if you just go on.
Yeah, you know what? That's a kind of movie you really want to see on a movie screen. Probably it's probably not as good on your phone.
No, that one there would be great on the IMAX theater on the real big.
That one in Sydney, that big IMAX they got in Sydney, right there by the Sydney Opera House.
It actually. I think it should be reopening soon. They actually closed it down just before COVID started to rebuild it. And it's going to be actually even bigger. I went in there once to see could have been one of the Transformer movies, The Rise of the Fallen or something. And the screen is that big; it goes like.
I know. I saw Jurassic World in there. It was amazing.
Oh, have you seen the preview for the new Jurassic Dominion?
No, I'm not. Good.
Really good. It's like, what's his name? Sam O'Neill's back in it, and Laura Dern, and all the original actors.
That's gonna be good. That's gonna be good.
Looks really good.
It's
really
the movie.
Good.
It's Siskel and Ebert and Palumbo and Pulcinella and Priest reviewing movies today. Now, speaking of movies, Big Ramy is looks like he's getting into the movies now. Did you see that? He had a scene with Claude Van Damme, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
How good is it?
I saw that. I saw it. It looked pretty good.
How are his acting chops, Dave?
Not that great. Let's see.
It had him running down the street with a backpack on, yelling out "Allah Akbar."
Hold on, Claude Van Damme had this. You know what the funny thing is? That as much as Ramy messed up, he's still way better of an actor than Claude Van Damme is.
Dude, I cannot make heads or tails out of what I just saw. What did we just look at? What was that?
That was the C grade version of fucking their version of fucking Mad Max.
Yeah, there's this guy who was making fun of what they were doing. That's what it was.
Yeah, that guy was
tongue in cheek.
No, that guy was doing a movie review, wasn't he? Talking about Big Ramy in the movie. He was given.
Okay,
the guy with the green hair was the movie reviewer.
I got
commenting on Ramy's acting abilities.
Oh, it looked absolutely horrendous.
But even still, with Ramy messing up, I'm telling you, Claude Van Damme is the worst actor of all time. Loved the guy's physique.
Yeah. He never had to be a good actor. He was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
He could kick the ceiling. That's all he had to do.
Dude. That was
Ramy just made Van Damme look like Charlton Heston.
All he has is a bunch of lumps, and that's it.
He should have just stood there.
You know, the funny thing is that Ramy, I saw a video of Ramy before he even became like Big Ramy, and he actually had hair in the video. He had like he was kind of proceeding. Remember that video I played before? And he was actually pretty funny. Like he's too dry now. I think maybe because he's
movie rivals Hercules in New York with Arnold's first attempt to make
the American
where they dubbed his voice in.
Yeah,
and he's fighting that guy in the bear suit in Central
in the
Park.
bear suit. It's about on par with that movie.
Ramy is so big though. You can't do anything with him. He's a monster. You know,
it's too much.
Well, the worst thing is what they do is sometimes when they say act. So people overthink it then. It's like some of the best scenes, like when I did a couple of things, was they'll say, okay, you rehearse the scene, and you'll be rehearsing it. And of course you're rehearsing it, you're relaxed and you just whatever. But they'll film that sometimes, and that's the one they'll use because sometimes when they say action, for some reason your brain goes, oh, I got to act now. It's almost like when you're doing a photo shoot and they say, okay, just act natural. You're like,
what's that?
Okay, let me act natural now. It's like, but if it didn't say that, you wouldn't think about it. But sometimes you overthink it, and sometimes then your acting becomes, "Hey, where are you going? Do not do that." It's like it just looks so fucking bad.
When you would do photo shoots, when I would do photo shoots with Parabonel, I liked because they used to have a mirror, and I would always have them put the mirror in front of me so I could see how I look when I was hitting shots and stuff like that. Did you need that, or did you have such good body awareness that you were able to just do it?
I hated it. I hated seeing myself doing it because no matter how I looked, I thought I always looked shit. So he could say, "You're looking great." And if I couldn't look at myself, I'd be like, "Oh, fuck off! I look like crap." So I'd rather not see it and just see the finished product when it comes out. Because if I saw myself, I go, "Oh, I look shit," but then you see the magazine, you're like, "Oh, fuck! I don't look too bad."
Not only that, but Lee, have you ever noticed if they prop a mirror up against the wall, it stretches it a certain way. It makes you look long and skinny. Like I always noticed that the mirrors that were propped up backstage, Dave, did you ever notice this?
Yes, they're horrendous.
Shows all the mirrors that were propped up backstage for you to pump up in made you real long and skinny. And I would stand in front of it and it would completely fuck my head up. And I couldn't even, I had to face away from the mirror.
You're right, exactly.
Your quads and your outer sweep just sort of go, whoop.
It's gone. It looks like two twigs.
I must
looks like I'm 7 feet tall.
Thank you for wearing that shirt today.
I fully expect for you to wear a Dave shirt next week.
That's right. For both.
It's only fair. It's only fair.
Well, it to be known, Dave, I'm wearing my Dave boxer shorts.
There you go.
You have Dave Pulcinella boxer shorts?
That's right.
I like you.
They're called Pulse.
Where it counts.
It's the pulse.
Yes.
It's the pulse.
I love how that doesn't require a shred of proof.
I'll show
therein lies the.
When I'm finished wearing them, I'm going to send them to you, so you'll have the.
Make
proof.
sure they're still soiled.
Oh, they will be. They will be. I'm going to put them between my legs.
Lee,
Exactly.
you've sold some old posing trunks before,
Speaking
right?
of which, Dave, did you save that interaction between me and that homosexual person?
Yeah, I have it on my phone, but it's too much of a pain in the ass. Tell
You
the
need to put
story.
it in order and all that. Yeah.
Tell the story.
All right, maybe by next week we can explore that because it's hilarious.
I'll bet you Lee has been solicited way more times than you have.
Oh, I way more than me, but I know he can relate.
I haven't though. That's the thing. This is what I'm upset by, because people would always say to me, "Oh, you bodybuilders do gay for pay." I said, apart from that one guy I spoke about who came to the gym and watched me and paid me, I never once got offered gay for pay. Listen, I'm coming to America tomorrow. I'll be there a week. If someone wants to make up for it, that's fine. But I used to think to myself, what is wrong with me? Because I'll see some of these other guys who got hit on. Dave, like yourself, you're not the prettiest guy out there. And they'd get hit on. And I'm thinking, I'm young, I'm in my 20s, I'm handsome, I got blonde hair. What's wrong with me? I actually got a compliment because no gay guys were hitting on me. I'm thinking, what's up
Lee,
with this?
did you ever get the guy who emails? He does this to a lot of people through the grapevine. I've heard it, and he's done it to me. He emails you and he wants to know if you'll meet him somewhere, so that you will rip farts on his forehead while he lays on a bed, and you squat on his forehead and rip farts on his forehead. And
you mean
pay you per fart? He was going to pay me $12 per fart.
Wow,
I said, dude, you'd have to pay me a lot more per fart.
Is Lou Zuick still emailing people?
What?
Is Lou Zuick still sending out emails?
Did he ask you to fart on him, Lee?
Yeah, actually, it might have been Zwick in disguise. I don't know.
No, but I used to answer the phone at Gold's all the time because if I was waiting for someone, the phone would always ring, and you could ask anyone that's been to Gold's would know about it. This guy would just call up, give me answer, go, hello. He goes, muscle man. You're like, hello? He goes, biceps. He just talked like that. And then he'd hang up. He must be getting off. I'm like, yeah. He goes, how big are your muscles? He'd always ring the payphone at Gold's a couple of times a day. If you heard it ring, you just pick it up. There'd be muscle man and stuff like that. But Lou Zuick, now he's been known for it. Danny Hester told me, my friend, everyone. He would call at the weirdest hours. He'd call me in Australia. I'd be like 2 a.m. I'd pick up the phone. This was like when I was 18. Hey, Lee, what are you doing? I'm fucking sleeping. Oh, okay. How big are your arms? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, he goes, who do you like? I'm like, oh, I like Eddie Robinson. Eddie Robinson. Do you think you could take him? Do you think in a wrestling match? Like, what the? You'd ask the weirdest questions at like the weirdest times. You just ask these stupid.
He wanted you to tell him, I'd like to put Eddie Robinson in a chokehold with my 23-inch pythons. That's what he wanted.
You know what he was doing?
Yeah.
So
he needed to get off. He was using you to get off.
Yeah.
So really, when I think about it, the only people I've had that have asked me weird questions on telephones and in person are Lou Zuick and Steve Blackman. But apart from that, I've never really.
You've never gotten guys asking you to do light wrestling.
Dave, I'm going to explain why. Lee, don't get a complex. I'm going to explain why. Ted Dixon explained it to me. Remember Ted from Gold's Venice?
Well, Ted told me too, because Ted being gay, I used to eat with Ted all the time, and Ted would say to me, Lee, I'm gay. Oh, look at that guy there. Look at this guy there. He'd start laughing. He goes, don't worry, Lee. He goes, you're safe. He goes, because your father's gay, I feel more like your father, so I'm not attracted to you. I'm like, Ted, why you got to say you're not attracted to me? You could have just said you're attracted to me, but you don't want to touch me.
No, Ted explained it to me. Ted said those guys, the gay guys that don't look gay, the guys from the gym. Those guys like the big mooses. They like the big freaky guys. They don't even care if they have good shape or structure. They don't even have to be that good looking. They like a lot of muscle, And you were too short for them, I think. That's what the problem was. You were too pretty for them.
I would have been the right height to give him a blowjob.
They don't want the pretty boys. They like the big mooses. And
then there's a whole segment that likes the hairy bears. Now, Lee, when you let your hair grow in, all your body hair, you could have been a pretty good mini hairy bear.
Could have done some bear stuff.
I could have been like a little cute cuddly koala.
Koala bear, yeah. There's got to be a market for that. I guarantee it.
Yes, I'm sure.
Koala.
There's got to be some market for some somewhat good-looking 50-year-old that still make some money. Come on.
Then there was the guy who wanted me to squash small rodents under my bare feet.
Wow. He picked the wrong person.
They got the wrong guy with that. They wanted me to squash small rodents under my bare feet and film it and send it to them.
You know what the big schmo thing is? I had this girl who I was friends with for forever, bodybuilder girl, and she used to tell me that there was this one guy who would come, and she knew him for years, like as a friend, family. And as she got really muscular, he called her up one day. He goes, I got to come over and pick something up. She's like, what? He's like, I'll be right there. He drives to her house. He opens the door. He goes, yeah. He goes, can you punch me in the face? She's like, what are you talking about? He's like, punch. I'll give you $100 if you punch me in the face. What? She's like, what are you talking about? I'm not going to punch you in the face. I'm telling you, here's $100. Just punch me in the face. So she's like, he's like, no, I want you to like punch me as hard as you can. And she's like, hit him a little hard. He's like, no, pretend like you want to kill me. Hit me. And she hit him and she knocked him out. He fell back onto the ground like, and almost unconscious. He got up and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. He's like, no. That was great, and he got in his car and he drove off 100 miles an hour.
But that's like because
he had to go home and whack off,
where they like guys to fucking stand on their balls in stilettos and stuff. I actually saw one. If I find it, I'll send it to you again. Someone sent to me. This guy, he has like a piece of wood, and in the piece of wood, it has like probably 100 needles, like 100 like needles sticking up. Okay. And this guy puts his penis on top of the needles like this. And the guy, you don't see him, puts his foot on top of it and pushes his penis down on these needles. And the needles go for his erect penis and blood's coming out everywhere.
Anything you can think of or dream up in your head, there's somebody who wants to do it or will pay you to do it. That's what I found. There's no limit to it.
You should see these needles coming through his penis and blood's coming out.
Lee, what would you charge? Hold on, Lee.
They like it.
Lee, what would you charge someone to step on their penis if they was on top of the needles? Like if someone said, Lee, I want you to stomp on my penis while it's on top of a bed of needles, what would you charge for that, service?
At least 1,000.
Okay, all right.
What would you charge per fart?
To fart on someone?
To fart on their forehead.
I'm not a really gassy person, so I might not make.
Well, you'd have to load
I'd
up
have
on
to
gas
drink skim milk or something like that, Dave, because I'm very lactose intolerant.
I was going to say I'm lactose intolerant, so if I had a big milkshake,
there you go.
I might.
You might shit on their face, though.
I might be able to. I could fart and maybe get follow through, so they look like a Van Gogh painting or something.
Back when he solicited me for this, I was farting every 13 seconds.
Oh my God!
I had a gold mine in my intestines,
and you didn't even utilize it.
I just wasn't willing to do it.
Right. Well, did you have to take your pants off to do it, or could you do it through your shorts?
I think you have to be a naked butthole to forehead.
Yeah, because you could get some splash effect. Maybe he was hoping that
you might get a little bit of
diarrhea would come out and hit him in the face.
So like stepping on penises, doing whatever. I'm going to be in LA for a week, so if anyone's got any,
you might actually be able to do some of these services, right?
Yeah, we're getting
anyone who's interested in hiring Lee to do any kind of like demented acts, please contact.
Well, exactly. Do you know, like I said, Jimmy's going to meet me there. I know Jimmy told you because Jimmy's coming out. He's going to be in a couple of days.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Universal Studios. Probably not going to go to Disneyland because you've got to book that online. There's only one day left. But Universal Studios, Six Flags Magic Mountain because they got the good rides, and Knott's Berry Farm. And like I said, you know how expensive these parks to get into? So if anyone has any spare cash out
there you go. Help them out. Hey, Lee, why don't you guys go like wine tasting or something like that? Jimmy would love that. I know you don't really drink alcohol, though, so.
Oh, that'll probably be wine tasting when we go for dinner. Jimmy will be drinking at dinner time. So,
what restaurant are you taking Jimmy out on a date to for that night?
Well, he gets there around 11 a.m. on the Saturday. So we've got all of Saturday and all of Sunday. So maybe Saturday when we pick him up from the airport, we'll go to Knott's Berry Farm straight from the airport because it's open to like 10 at night or 11. Mm-hmm. And then the next day, Sunday, will be Universal Studios from 10 to 7. Monday will be Venice Beach and that. And then the next day, not sure what we'll do. But yeah, there's going to be lots of funny videos of Jimmy screaming on the roller coasters or hope he survives.
Make sure you film this stuff, Lee, because I know what's going to happen. You guys are going to be chatting up a storm. You're going to forget to film everything.
No, I'm going to make sure we have the cameras going, and that'd be hard. Sometimes you're not allowed to have the camera on the ride there because you might drop your phone when you're going.
Don't drop any. Don't lose your phone. That's for sure.
You can get those cases, can't you? That you put your phone in.
You got to get a GoPro and strap it to your head, Lee. That's what you should do.
Hey, there's an idea. I'll strap it to Jimmy's head. So we'll both have one, so we're just looking at each
Yes,
other.
I'll cut that. I'll edit that.
Okay, that'll be funny. Jimmy will leave his on when he goes to the toilet.
Yeah, exactly. As long as he's not splattering the wall with any poop, then
It'll look like that Fiberlize commercial.
that's right. All right, guys. Well,
Yes.
Tyler's got to leave, so I got to wrap this party up. Lee, I want you to have a safe flight out to L.A.
Well,
and
fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I've got to get this test done first.
don't get any new tattoos, please. While you're out there.
You gotta get this test done 24 hours before. This is how fucking pathetic it is, right? 24 hours before your flight.
Right.
I knew this couple, got it done 24 hours before their flight. Their flight was delayed by a couple of hours. So when they went to check in the second time,
Right.
they're like, "Oh, excuse me, this is past 24 hours."
No, are you
And
kidding me?
They wouldn't let them on because
Oh,
they were there at the
my
airport
God.
in time, but because the plane was delayed like 4 or 5 hours, they says, "Oh no, this is now like 29 hours since your test. You can't board the flight." That's how fucking
Holy
pathetic it is.
shit! I would have gotten ape shit.
Oh, could you imagine?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So hopefully you'll get a video and a call from me, a message saying,
Right.
"I'm on the plane."
Any guys who want to do any schmo sessions with Lee, please let him know he needs money for Disneyland and Universal Studios.
And hot dogs. And hot dogs.
Oh yeah, Jimmy's gonna need plenty of hot dogs out there. So I don't. Do they
And
even
if
sell
you-
hot
if
dogs in
expensive those are.
California? It's so healthy out there.
Yeah.
I don't think they even make hot
If
dogs.
you, if you pay me enough, we can make a special hot dog, if you know what I mean.
I'm not sure I do.
Well, Jimmy's gonna put his penis in the bun, in the hot dog bun.
And I'll supply the mayonnaise.
Because that's a common hot dog condiment.
Oh, I'm getting hungry thinking about
And
it.
on that deranged note, I'm going to wrap this taco party up here. Thanks, Dave.
we don't
Lee.
wrap it up, Dave.
I'm
We
Dave
don't wrap it
Palumbo
up.
for
We
another
go-
installment of Iron Rage. See you next week.
No rapping, Dave. We go raw, mate. We go raw.
I like it raw.